Good morning. I would like for everybody at this moment to close their eyes and think about somebody that you deem successful. Doesn't matter who it is, a celebrity, a friend, a politician, or a family member. And at this point, I also want to mention that we all don't have the same idea of success. For some of us, success means wealth, a big home, a fancy car. And for others, success is happiness, peace, and contentment. So now I would like for you to open your eyes and picture an iceberg. The person that you just saw when you closed your eyes, they're at the top of the iceberg. So when you look at this person's life, all you see is them at the top of the iceberg with no idea what had to happen at the bottom of the ocean, beneath the ocean, at the bottom of the iceberg. So right now I would like to take you through a few steps which I had to apply in my life to reach the top of the iceberg. The first would be your why or your vision. My why, my vision. In 2017, I wrote down a 1-year, a 3-year, and a 5-year plan of what I wanted for myself, for my life. My vision included why I wanted to achieve these things. So I want to urge you this morning to understand the importance of a vision, writing it down. Some of us want to type it out. Me personally, I want it handwritten. And I placed it on my wall, my bedroom wall, so every morning I wake up. That's the first thing I see. The first thing I affirm to myself is my vision and my why. For those of us that doesn't have a vision, what are you working towards? What are you working towards? How are you going to measure yourself and your achievements if you don't have a vision? The next one is your identity or your frustration. Identity is, who am I? Who is Leyonie? What makes her tick? Where does she come from? So being born and raised in Eldorado Park, south of Johannesburg, growing up poorly. Nothing wrong with growing up poor. But today, as a mother of 4, I understand that I don't want my children to go through what I went through. I want better for them. So that is my identity. What is my frustration? My frustration is realizing that sometimes I have more month than money. So how am I going to change that? And here's what I want to say, that your frustration can either drive you towards your greatness or push you to self-destruction. So whatever your identity and your frustration, that's the next level of building your empire. Next is culture, beliefs, and values. This one is very dear to my heart because a lot of times we overlook and underestimate our values, our beliefs, and our cultures. While building your empire, you need to understand the importance of sticking to your cultures, your beliefs, and your values. I want to make an example. Integrity, while building your greatness and working towards your empire. If at any point you have to place your integrity on the line to achieve your greatness, it's not worth pursuing. If you have to place your character on the line to pursue your greatness, it's not worth pursuing. Let me give you a rude awakening. I love gardening. I enjoy it. I have never planted chilies and reaped strawberries. So when you get to the top of your iceberg and you've planted chilies during your sowing season, truth be told, you will reap chilies and not strawberries. So while you're building, make sure that you're not walking on people, undermining people, diminishing people's character to make you feel better and greater. The next one, skills and competencies. Now here, I'm going to bring in a personal story. I've been an executive assistant for 20 years. And what I've learned in my day job, time management, delegation, and managing my executive. Now, some of them are not going to be bold enough to say that they don't need assistants. They need people to manage their daily lives because, yes, they need us to manage their time. So as an executive assistant, what I've done now that I've started my own empire, I've brought the skills and the competencies from my lifelong career and I've plugged it in to my empire. And I'm going to be real again. I can't count to save my life. When I have to count, I use calculator, I use Excel, I call my husband, and today I ask Alexa. So at no point am I going to sit for 3 days trying to balance a balance statement and not getting it right. So what I do, I outsource it. to people that are equipped, that have studied, and know exactly how to balance a balance sheet. Not that it's not important for me as an entrepreneur. I need to know how to balance it. But picture for a moment, I'm spending 3 days trying to balance the sheet. Whereas those 3 days, I could have created my latest training content or worked on my next international talk. So I've wasted 3 days trying to work on something that I'm not good at. So what I do, I stick to what I know, what I love, and what makes me tick. And the things that I don't know, I outsource it to the people that has the expertise. The next one, ladies and gentlemen, is climate. Now this one is vital. On climate, I want to touch on the mindset. Anybody with a fixed mindset can never be an entrepreneur, a business owner, an author, or a truly great person. Let me tell you what is a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is somebody that is moved by what they see, moved by what they feel, moved by what they hear. You know, sometimes you get family members that will tell you, why do you want to go into catering? You're going to be standing on your feet all day. You're not going to make so much money. You're going to be away from your family for too long. And they actually listen to their family. Yes, they're telling us this because they love us. But not everything our family and friends says to us about our dreams and our vision are actually true. Somebody with a fixed mindset is somebody that is determined by the trends of life. If they're feeling down, they're not going to pursue their business because they're feeling down. But for a successful person, a growth mindset is important. What is a growth mindset, you ask? A growth mindset is understanding that though I'm in the valley of my journey, I'm going to get up. I've fallen 7 times and I've lost my house, my cars, my husband, my children. But I'm going to get up. Why? Because I know my why and I know my vision. And I know in order for me to reach the top of the iceberg, I cannot stay down. I need to get up. In spite of how difficult it may be during this time. Yes, it may be difficult. And you may feel like you don't want to get up. But when you go back to that vision on the wall and you realize this is my vision, this is my why, and my frustration has led me to this point, I cannot stay down. And that is when you get up. That's the growth mindset. Next, on climate, very important. Look at who you are surrounded with. And I'm passionate when I speak about the people that surrounds me in my journey and my lifestyle. So in my 3-year plan, I had to let people walk away from me. I had to walk away from people. And some of them were toxic. And to some of them, I was toxic. Now, it takes a grown person to admit that you have been toxic to some people, right? Because there was a time in your life when you were not good to somebody. So let's talk about that. I had to realize that I wasn't good to everybody. And that meant for me to get to the top of my iceberg, I had to work on myself. Because I cannot truly effectively lead others if I cannot lead myself. So I had to take a look at the people that I was surrounded with. And at this moment, I want you to close your eyes again. And picture yourself at your biggest launch. Whatever you wrote on your vision, you are launching this project, your book launch, your company. And I want you to take a look at the people seated in the front row seat, whether it be 5 seats, 10 seats, or 3 seats. Look at who is seated there. Ask yourself, are these my front row seats? Mr. Les Brown says, practice quality people only. That means that everybody in my front row seat should bring quality to my table and me to theirs. Now flip the same script around. The same people in your front row seat, they are launching their biggest dreams. Are you seated in their front row seat? Because if not, you are not their quality person and they are not yours. Now something mind-blowing I want to bring to your attention. And as ladies, come on girls, we fail on this on so many ways. We compete with each other. We break each other down. You can never truly be successful if you cannot help another woman up. While you are breaking another woman down, I want to be real to you. You are not successful yet. You haven't reached the top of your iceberg. Because as women, we're supposed to stand with each other, lift each other's chins, fix one another's crowns without talking about it negatively. Major banks in our country they partner. Insurance companies, they partner. A personal experience. 20 years ago, I was working at one of the major banks in South Africa. I call it the Blue Bank. And they then partnered with one of the leading insurance companies in South Africa. Today, when you drive past Marais Arch, you still see that beautiful building standing up there, which means after 2 decades, they are still in partnership, thriving, changing people's lives. That is what you need to find. Find yourself partners in your circle, outside of your circle. Until you've partnered with successful people, you will never reach the top of your iceberg. The last one in my success strategy, this is hard work. I call it structure. Now, my goal in 2017 was to publish my book. And that meant for every goal that I had to set tasks in place to make sure that by the timeline I've written next to the goal that I've achieved that. So for me to be able to hand deliver a manuscript to a publisher, it meant I could no longer scroll social media for 12 hours. I could no longer sit and binge watch on series. I had to make sure that I'm setting aside time every day to make sure that my manuscript is perfect when handed over. So what does that mean? Mr. Bob Proctor says, successful people isn't somebody that was given R1 million or R1 billion. A successful person is somebody that sets daily tasks and habits and sticks to it until the goal is achieved. So for me to become a published author, I had to go to bed after everyone has gone to bed. I had to wake up when everyone was still sleeping, because successful people don't go to bed when everyone else does, and they don't wake up with everyone else. They know the importance of waking up before everybody, because they are woken up every day by their dreams, by their visions, and by their goals, and not by an alarm clock. I would like to leave you with a quote that says, if your vision doesn't scare you, your vision isn't big enough. My name is Leyonie Marais, and this is my success strategy. I thank you.